Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel every day leading up to a Halloween and discuss it. Today we're talking about 2020's Hubie Halloween, which was directed by Stephen Brill and is on Netflix. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm Erik.
And we're kicking off another wheel.
Slobber knocker of a movie, too.
Yeah, I know. This is it reminds me of last year when we did Elvira as our first movie of the October wheel, and it's like, well,
it gets you in the spirit.
Yeah, it's a tradition to do like a comedy horror, I guess, now as the first movie. But really quick, just want to mention to everybody, we are not doing 31 in 31 this year. It's just too much. It's not a pandemic anymore,
I would drop dead if we did 31 again. That last year was fun. I'm like proud that we did it. We did it 2 years in a row. 31 days, 31 films. I was watching Rosemary's Baby at like 2 a.m. It was not a good healthy lifestyle, but 13's a good middle ground. Yeah. It's safe. It's 13. Doesn't Freeform have like 13 Nights of Halloween? They can't even handle 31. Or do they do 31?
I think like there's one channel that does like the 60 days of Halloween, and I'm just like, okay,
get out of here.
All right. Yeah, so toning it back to 13. Obviously, we're still going to do Fresh Film Fridays with Justin, and he'll co-host a couple of these episodes too. But 13 episodes, we're going to cover Halloween Ends, a couple other little spooky surprises throughout the rest of the month. But yeah, we think 13 is manageable. Spooky number.
It's a spooky number. It's like a spooky.
It is. It's a spooky number.
Sixes too, but we're not doing six.
No. We could do 666. We just do an episode every day for like 2.5 straight years. But anyway, so jumping into, the first episode. So Hubie Halloween. This is an Erik selection.
I love this movie.
I want you to convince me why.
It's a children's movie, but it's also a, homage to Adam Sandler movies. And it's nice. Imagine, you had a daughter. Like, I have a daughter now who can't watch Hubie Halloween, but someday I'm going to watch Hubie Halloween with her. And it's going to be special. It's like, oh, you know what a Doyle is? You know what a Doyle is? It's going to be nice, Alec. It's going to be nice.
Okay. Well, you saw this movie before your wife got pregnant and you have a daughter, and you still liked it, so.
I did like it. It was funny. She laughed, too. There's moments where you laugh, but it's forgettable. I'll tell you this. This is my third time watching it, and, if you were to ask me in 20 years, Hubie Halloween, you ever see that movie? I'm like, oh, man, what's that movie? Isn't that with, the Hall Patrol guy with the thermos who's on Halloween? That's all I would remember.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler, hall monitor, thermos, Halloween. Boom. That's it.
Yeah, you're right though when you said it's kind of like a culmination of his career, because I'm assuming is Veronica Valentine and Vicky Valentine, are they like cousins or sisters or whatever?
Veronica Vaughn.
Oh, Vaughn.
Oh no, Vicky Valancourt is the. There's another one too. I think it's Vivian something in Happy Gilmore.
Okay.
I think this is like the 4th or 5th time he's done the double V.
Okay, never mind then. I thought that was a connection, but it is the same actress from Happy Gilmore, the woman from Modern Family.
Right.
But they had the O'Doyle stuff,
They even did the bed sheets are all pissed, because all his characters apparently pissed the bed because I'm not Happy Gilmore, Waterboy pisses his bed, and it's like that's his bed sheet over there with Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Rob Schneider's in it. There's just, random Adam Sandler-esque things in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I didn't hate it, but you know what it was, man? The second it started and he's riding his bike and that fake vomit came out, I was kind of like, ease me into this a little bit. I was like, we're already kind of going to this kind of level of crazy already. I was like, let's just kind of ease into it a little bit. So I was kind of turned off immediately. And the other thing is the way that the woman from Modern Family, her attitude towards him was so weird that I was like, did I miss something? Why is she already in love with him and all this stuff? And I don't know. It doesn't matter. There's nothing meaning character development in an Adam Sandler movie.
Isn't there another movie? I can't think of it, where the guy's super nerdy and not attractive, and then the woman's in love with him. Oh, I love that, man. What's that movie?
Is it Adam Sandler?
It might not be Adam Sandler, but there's a movie that's on the tip of my tongue, where the woman's obsessed with this guy who's you shouldn't be obsessed with this guy, but she's I loved it. Almost Edward Scissorhands-esque. I don't know.
It's every Adam Sandler movie.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, he's just, but anyways, I mean, so it's it's got its moments. It really is a good cast. Every cameo in it, you're just oh, Keenan's in this. Oh, half the SNL cast is in this movie. And honestly, I do think my favorite character was Tim Meadows. I think Tim Meadows was absolutely hilarious with the wig, and his relationship with Maya Rudolph was so funny.
He was funny as hell, dude. That
Yeah.
was so good.
Dude, when he walks up to him and he's like, Hubie, look at you. And he's just like, oh, hey there. How was your night classes going? He's like, I ended it 3 years ago. Shut up. And he like, I dropped out 3 years ago. Shut up.
It was so good.
It had some moments. It had some moments. It was very nice. Like, that's the thing. It's a very kind-spirited movie, kind of.
I mean, they swear a couple times too, which you don't see in a children's movie. This is a children's movie. I feel like I would be okay with my like 9-year-old, 8-year-old seeing this, right? Would you?
Yeah, I would. I mean, it's PG-13, but like, with the exception of the swearing and like, I guess like the Harley Quinn, like kind of like scandalous outfits or whatever, it's not even that bad. But yeah, it's not bad.
Speaking of the Harley Quinn thing, I don't know if you read up on this, but there was a news reporter from Boston. I'd forgot her name, but she got fired for doing this movie.
Oh, that's a real person?
That's a real news anchor from Boston, and she appeared,
Oh.
and she was under contract through a different news network in Boston. They wanted to like make it actually feel like Salem, like she would report Salem news and stuff.
Right.
And she got fired for doing this movie. Look that up, dude. It's crazy.
I believe you, but that's like, why?
That
Yeah.
sucks, but dude, it's so worth it. It's like that's even gonna give me more publicity and stuff, and like who knows?
Huh. It's like when Katie Couric was in Austin Powers Gold Member.
Yeah, but she probably had to like, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. She was like a corrections officer. So random. But you know what, Eric? Why don't you give the synopsis of this film? Just walk the audience through what this is.
So Hubie Dubois loves Halloween safety. I'll rephrase that. Hates Halloween in some ways because he gets scared so easily. He can't do haunted houses. He can't do anything. He's here to protect the people of Salem, which he does in the end of the movie. But his mother is like a witch or something. And at the end of the movie, tries to make a point because everyone makes fun of Hubie, but he's such a nice guy. He wants to protect people. He's always kind, and the mother wants to like seek revenge on the people and the bullies that are mean to her. And at the end of the movie, he saves them, and they still make fun of him. And it's like, don't you get it? Like Hubie, and like it's like I'm just jealous of Hubie because he is himself. And I don't know. That's my synopsis.
Okay.
Terrible synopsis. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I was gonna say you left out like the major plot points of like Steve Buscemi's his new neighbor who's like.
Well, I gave you the treetop, like Hubie story plot, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there's an escaped mental asylum patient who in the beginning breaks out, and which was a really fun nod to Happy Gilmore because you get Ben Stiller as the same like orderly. Remember that?
Loved it.
Yeah, I like that. I did like that. So mental patient escapes, looks kind of like Michael Myers. You're like, oh, what's going to happen? And then his new neighbor moves in, Steve Buscemi, and you think he's a werewolf. So you're like, what is going on in this town? But yeah, so Salem is a big part of it. Obviously, like you said, the mom is a witch at the end, we find out. And they sprinkle in little details about the history of witches throughout the movie and stuff like that. But I did like it how it was filmed in Salem and a lot of the surrounding areas.
It was filmed in 2019, pre-pandemic, too. So that's why this was all, like, why aren't these people wearing masks and stuff? No, for real. But they filmed in 2019. And that Salem Witch Museum with the wax figures and stuff, I've been to that. And been there with Kelly Harper, who's been a guest in the show. And I've gone a bunch to Salem. I love Salem. And it's so cool that they're doing more Salem movies. Obviously, Hocus Pocus 2 as well just came out. So that's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. I don't really know a lot of like movies that were filmed in Salem, but I looked it up because I was like, they better have done this. If this is filmed in like Burbank, I'm gonna be
Salem.
pissed.
It's Salem.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I was like, that's cool. I like that. But yeah, Adam Sandler, man, it's funny because like, in the past few months, I've watched a couple of his movies, and Hustle was one that's like really good. Like, I'm not a sports guy, and I was seriously like, this is a good movie. Adam Sandler's a really good actor, and then you see him in this, and you're like, these came out like back to back. It's just funny.
That's what's great. He can be serious, and it's range, dude, and that's what's fun.
No, I like that. And it's even funnier when you go on Netflix and you type in HU and they both pop up. It's like Hubie Halloween and Hustle.
So true.
And they're right next to each other, and you're just like, do you want to watch a Academy Award performance, or do you want to watch like and he's got like a mustache. And he pisses his pants and stuff. I don't know. I mean, you're right though. Like Adam Sandler is an anomaly. He's like a Robin Williams almost at this point.
Yeah, and I like when I watch movies that he's in now. Like Grown Ups, like everyone gives that shit. Grown Ups 2 especially. But it looked like it was a lot of fun to make, and I think that's cool. I mean, even 50 First Dates and what's the other one he did in Hawaii with Brooklyn Decker?
Oh yeah, I actually like that. Just go with it.
That just looked like Adam Sandler was on vacation with his family in Hawaii, like his actual family, and just filmed a movie like on the side.
Yeah, I mean, his family's in this. His kids are the adopted foster children or whatever of Julia Bowen. So they're in it, and then his wife is the news anchor who's like going around, on the streets or whatever. So his family's in this too, and yeah, dude. I mean, everybody is his friends. Kevin James is his friend. I mean, all of these actors from SNL. So
I can see like a year before this they made this movie, like Adam Sandler's daughter comes down the stairs and is like, Dad, I really want to go to Salem, Massachusetts. It's like, oh, that's really far and it probably costs a lot of money. I don't know. It's like, Dad, I really want to go to Salem and check out the museum and check out New England. It's like, all right, let me call Judd and see if we can make a movie while we're out there. Like, like pretty much, dude. Like,
I mean, seems like it. I don't know, but he's from that area. I think he's from New Hampshire, so like he's from New England. He probably
oh
wants
yeah,
to.
you gotta come back.
Yeah, but I don't know. Listen, I don't like to hate on Adam Sandler, but this felt long. This felt longer than a lot of his other movies, and I don't know. Like growing up, I loved obviously Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. I mean, I think my favorite one of his is Wedding Singer. I think it's just like a good movie and it's funny. But this one, it goes into that Jack and Jill like childish kind of stuff where I don't know, it just doesn't work for me at this age. It doesn't work for me like Waterboy did.
Oh, this is way better than Jack and Jill. Way better.
But you know what I mean? It's like lumped into. It's like the middle ground, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the middle ground of a serious comedy movie like Happy Gilmore, which is, I mean, it's not serious either, but it's hard to do that because those '90s Adam Sandler movies were so iconic, and plus you had Chris Farley and a lot of other things.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, these new movies, I mean, they're fast-paced. They're so fast-paced. And that's a problem with why they're kind of forgettable because they don't breathe. And,
yeah.
I mean, I know for a fact, 10 years, you're going to ask me, like, you remember Hubie Halloween? I'm going to be like, the Thermos, Hall Monitor, Halloween, Salem movie with Adam Sandler. That's all. I'm not going to remember a single line. I'm not going to.
But, like, all right, so sorry to interrupt you, but to that point, like, think about this. Billy Madison, you can explain the whole movie in like a sentence.
I mean, maybe it's because I'm old and I don't watch it over and over and over again like I did Billy Madison. I can quote Billy Madison better than the Constitution.
I mean, you
oh,
probably can.
You can too, probably.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I know. Seriously, no. But what I'm saying is, like, this movie, you're right. It's like, okay, so it's a guy that doesn't like Halloween, but he has to be like the Halloween monitor, and he has a crush on this girl, and like she's dating the old cop, and then there's a werewolf, and then there's a guy moving in, and his mom's a witch. Like, there's so much going on.
But what about the Thermos?
And the Thermos too, sure. But like Happy Gilmore, it's like, okay, guys, grandma's gonna lose the house. He discovers he's actually really good at playing golf, and he's got this weird swing, and he wins the tournament. That's the movie.
But he also has the hockey stick golf club, which is kind of cool. So
right, exactly. But like that's what I'm saying. Like they're simple concepts, where this one there's so much going on that like you don't know really what to grasp to, and all you really remember is the character, kind of.
Yeah, and there's a lot of plot points that happen just nonchalantly. So if you were to see this in theaters, which I saw this on Netflix streaming in 2020 in October, and I can imagine you go to the bathroom in the theater and the movie's ruined.
Really?
Because it's like, what happened? It's like, oh yeah, the grandma's the killer. It's like, what? Like, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll.
Yeah, I'm not saying like what happened. It's like, well, Sophie had to make a choice and he chose like yeah, like you imagine like
yeah, it's like you missed big.
Wait, who'd she choose? What child did Sophie choose? It's like, oh, dude, you missed the whole thing. That's like the movie.
Oh God, yeah, this movie doesn't have those. It doesn't have a Sophie's Choice moment. But yeah, I mean, we were talking about it earlier too. We were like texting. Like Ray Liotta was really good.
All right. So there's we never do this. But we texted back and forth a little bit while you were watching this movie. We never do that. We're like, I want to hear a word of your thoughts. And you texted me one of the lines you laughed at was at the end when they're all on the stake or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's Maya Rudolph saying like, "You look like someone who doesn't have sex too often." And he's like, "Yes, ma'am," or like you said it better.
Yeah, she was just like, "Now Hubie doesn't look like a man who's had a lot of sex throughout his life." He's like, "No, ma'am." It was very like Waterboy, like Bobby Boucher, but it was just the way he said it. I was like, all right, Adam Sandler, you got me.
But anyway, back to Ray Liotta. I love the scene when he's walking out of the haunted house. He's like, oh my God, this was so fun. It's like, it almost makes me forget about me burying my father today. I just think he nailed that line. Like, you wouldn't be going to a haunted house the night you buried your dad. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. He's got the clown wig on. He's like, what's your name? He's like, Chantel. Like, okay.
This
is
like, a 6-year-old man calling someone Hubie. And just like...
Yeah.
bullying someone to no end, and he's about to bury his father. It's so like it's stupid but funny. Come on.
It is. It has those one-liners that make it good, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to shit on it. I really don't. Like it.
No,